Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Sam Gabriel here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 1 of What If Deku Was a Late Bloomer. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying sit back and relax, you're in for a treat, so we begin. It was a sunny day in Japan, and everything looked quite peaceful until a villain attacked a train track. Civilians were told to stand back and let the pros deal with the situation. Among the crowds was a green-haired boy, and he looked enthusiastic about the hero's actions. One of the heroes, that was named Kamui Woods, was attempting to capture the villain with his quirk. However, a giant woman had kicked the villain and took credit for the capture. Every paparazzi took pictures of the new hero, named Mount Lady, and praised her for her actions, while Kamui Woods felt irritated for being upstaged by an amateur. Oh wow, that's so cool! She became a giant to stop the villain. I should add her to my notes, the green-haired boy said enthusiastically as he took notes. A random bystander noticed the boy's enthusiasm and expertise on quirks and asked the boy if he planned on becoming a hero, to which the freckled boy nodded. On his way to school, the boy began to feel a bit lightheaded. Was it due to the excitement he had earlier? He shrugged it off and continued on his way to school. A couple hours later, his teacher had come in and told the students about their career plans, but threw the papers up since he knew they all desired to be in the hero course. All the students cheered and ended up using their quirks in the classroom, which was against the rules. Everyone cheered except the green-haired boy and a blonde-haired boy who was leaning on his chair with his feet up on the desk. Hey, Teach! Don't let me in with those extras. They'll be lucky to even get into UA. I aced the mock test, so I'll be the only one in this crappy school to attend such a school, the blonde boy said in a cocky tone. The teacher then pointed out that Midoriya was also planning to attend, which caused everyone in class to stare at the boy in disbelief and then laughed at him. One student mentioned that Midoriya did not have a quirk, and another mentioned that UA wouldn't allow a student to attend the school without one. They changed that rule a while ago, so I'd still have a chance to... The green-haired boy was cut off by the blonde-haired boy, who had just exploded his desk in 2 pieces. The green-haired boy crawled into the back of the class as he tried not to confront the explosive blonde boy. You think that a quirkless nerd like you would be accepted into a school like UA? In your dreams, you damned nerd, the blonde boy growled. Wait, Kachan, you don't understand. The green-haired boy pleaded. What's there to understand? You're quirkless. You won't stand a chance against me, the explosive boy taunted further. The green-haired boy stayed silent as he began to feel lightheaded again. He wiped the sweat from his forehead as he got up from the floor. The class had begun to notice that the green-haired boy was staggering as he walked towards his torn desk. The teacher asked Midoriya if he was feeling all right and if he needed to go to the nurse's office. No, I'm fine. He took a couple of steps before he passed out. Everyone gathered around the unconscious green-haired boy looking to see if he was okay, until a loud voice said, Step back, you damn extras! Give him some air! That voice turned out to be Bakugo. Everyone had stepped back as he instructed. The teacher told the atomic blondes to take the boy to the infirmary, to which the blonde boy scoffed at the idea, but he had no choice. He picked up the unconscious green-haired boy over his shoulder and walked to the nurse's office. At the infirmary, the nurse thanked the atomic blonde for bringing him to her office and told him to return to class. Oi, Deku! If you die, I'll kill you, you hear me? The blonde said in an assertive but worried tone. A couple hours later, the green-haired boy had woken up from passing out and had noticed he wasn't in his classroom. Where am I? Why am I here? The freckled boy said in a confused voice. The nurse calmed him down and told him what had happened. The green-haired boy felt a bit relieved for being informed, but also wondered why he passed out all of a sudden. The nurse gave a couple of theories. One, he may have been dehydrated and didn't drink enough water, or he developed a quirk. What did you just say? The green-haired boy's attention peaked after the mention of developing a quirk. The nurse explained to the boy that he may have a rare case called a late bloomer, but she wasn't sure if that was the case. All she could do was give the boy some juice and advised him to see a doctor just in case her second theory was true. She then sent him back to his classroom. When Midoriya entered the classroom, he noticed that almost everyone had left for the day. The only people that stayed behind were Bakugo and his lackeys. As the green-haired boy packed his things to go home, a hand snatched his notebook that had information about heroes. The green-haired boy looked up and saw that it was Katsuki. I wasn't done with what I said earlier, Deku, the atomic blonde growled. What's that, Katsuki? His diary? Said one of the bullies, while the other commented, Hero notes, that's so lame. Gotcha, just give it back, the green-haired boy pleaded. The atomic blonde used his quirk to burn the notebook and threw it out the window. He then placed his hand on the boy's shoulder and told him in a menacing voice, Don't apply to UA, or I'll kill you. That's so mean, the green-haired boy muttered in a low voice. Bakugo and his little gang were about to leave the classroom until the atomic blonde gave one last comment. If you want a quirk so bad, there's an easy way to get one. Take a swan dive off the roof and pray that you get one in your next life. The green-haired boy was so disgusted by this comment that he clenched his fists, and they began to give off a faint glow to them. He then sighed and just went to fetch his notebook that was thrown in the fish pond right next to the school. Meanwhile, a man shouted that someone had stolen his money. The culprit was shown to be a sludge villain. In the corner of an alley, a mystery had grown from a skeletal man to a tall, buff man. Fear not, everyone, for I am here, the buff man said with a wide smile on his face. We cut back to Izuku as he started walking under a bridge. He remembered the time his doctor had told him that he wasn't able to develop a quirk, but then wondered, if he wasn't able to develop one then, how come the nurse theorized that he may be a late bloomer? He muttered the possibilities of what was happening to him, until something popped out of the sewer. It was the sludge villain from earlier, and he looked at the green-haired boy with ill intentions.
You'll make the perfect body for my cover,
the villain said as he charged at the boy as he attempted to take his body. Izuku began to panic and immediately attempted to run towards the other side, but was stopped by the sludge villain who had captured his right leg. The green-haired boy didn't know what to do as fear overtook his thinking process.
This'll all be over soon. Just sit back and watch me take over your body,
the slime villain said in a suggestive tone. As the boy was being filled with sludge, he began to wonder, is this the end for me? Being killed by a villain and not knowing whether or not I developed a quirk? As the boy felt his life slipping away, a voice in the distance shouted, Have no fear, for I am here! The man reeled back his fist and shouted, Texas Smash! After that attack, the green-haired boy had fallen unconscious. He felt a hand smacking him in the face, and when he opened his eyes, he saw that it was his hero, All Might. All Might? How? When? Wait, where's the villain? The green-haired boy wondered nervously. Oh, him? I had managed to capture him and put him in these bottles! The number one hero showed the villain in 2 separate bottles. The green-haired boy bowed multiple times in gratitude. Wait, All Might, there's something I want to ask you. Sorry, young man, but I'm in a hurry. I need to take this villain to the police station. Please be safe and stay in school. He jumped to the sky, and as he was up in the air, he felt something weighing him down. He saw that it was the green-haired boy. Much like in canon, All Might told him to let go, but Izuku told him that if he did, he would die. They landed on a roof, and the green-haired boy felt wind-whipped. The number one hero scolded the boy for being reckless, and once again bid him farewell, until the boy stopped him and asked him the most important question. All my life, I've been told that I'm not good enough, and that I can't be a hero. There were times when I believed them, but I knew that they were wrong. So please tell me, All Might, do you think I have what it takes to be a hero? The boy looked and saw a skeletal man in front of him. He freaked out and wondered where All Might went. The skeletal man revealed that he was All Might, and began to explain about an injury that he received 5 years ago. He then answered the boy's earlier question. I don't know what to tell you, young man. If you have a quirk, you'd be able to be a great hero. Without one, I don't think it'd be wise to tempt fate. You'd be better off as a police officer, the skeletal man replied in a cold voice. Those words pierced Midoriya like a sword to the chest. As All Might went down the stairs, he had noticed that the bottles he carried were with him, and as he was looking around, he heard an explosion in the distance. In an alley far from where they are, the sludge villain held Bakugo hostage. All the pros couldn't approach the villain due to their attacks not having any effect on the creature. In the corner of the street, a deflated All Might appeared, and he felt helpless since he had used his buff form for the day. Meanwhile, as sad Izuku was walking down the street with his head down after his talk with All Might, he wondered if he should even become a hero in the first place. He then saw a crowd of people in an alley, and he went to investigate the commotion. When he saw that the sludge villain from earlier was there, he immediately felt guilty for letting it escape. Before he could succumb to his sadness, he noticed that the villain had a hostage, and that hostage was none other than Kacchan. At that moment, something lit up inside the green-haired boy that caused him to run in to save his former childhood friend. As he ran towards the villain, he felt something on his hands, like they were burning up. The pro-heroes tried to tell the boy to turn back and that it was dangerous, but the boy just ignored their calls. He looked at his hands for a brief second, and saw that there was a small orb on his right hand. Did I just develop a quirk? The boy wondered for a bit, before he was interrupted by the sludge villain.
Looks like someone didn't learn from last time,
the villain said as he tried to attack the green-haired boy. Izuku, think. What would Kacchan do in this situation? the boy thought in his head. I got it! He exclaimed. He put his new quirk to the test as he manipulated the heat around him and made balls of light. He was impressed by what he could do for a minute, and then threw it at the villain's face, hoping it would blind him. It worked as the villain screamed in pain, which then allowed an air pocket to open, which then allowed Katsuki to breathe a bit. Deku, what are you doing here? The blonde boy asked in annoyance. I'm doing what a hero would do. Save your life even if you didn't ask for it, Deku responded bluntly. All Might heard those words and buffed up again.
I've had enough of these games, kid. Die!
The villain shouted. The sludge was preparing for an attack, and Izuku covered his face as he prepared for it, but it never came. When he uncovered his face, he saw a buffed-up All Might protecting him from the attack. He grabbed both the green-haired boy and the captured blonde as he shouted, Detroit Smash! The punch created a gust of wind, which then created rain. Everyone was so impressed by the number one hero's actions that they cheered for him. All Might raised his right fist in the air. After the villain had been detained by police, the heroes had scolded the green-haired boy for being reckless, while Katsuki was being praised for his quirk and bravery. The blonde-haired boy wasn't happy. However, he was furious at the green-haired boy. A couple hours later, as Izuku was walking home, he heard a familiar, angry voice call out to him. Deku! The voice turned out to be Bakugo as he was running towards his childhood friend. He then added, I don't know what you think happened back there, but I didn't need your help, you damn nerd! As the blonde walked away in a huff, the green-haired boy muttered in a snarky voice, Welcome. He then continued on his way before bumping into All Might again. The green-haired boy jumped in fear until he asked, Wait, how did you escape the press? Oh, young Midoriya, when you've been a pro hero for as long as I have, you develop ways to... The number one hero cut himself off as he deflated and spat out blood again. Young man, back there was an incredible display of heroism. When no one in that crowd was able to save that boy, you jumped right in, even if you had no right to. Young man, you too can become a hero. After hearing those words, the green-haired boy cried tears of joy. The fact that his idol believed in him after what he did gave him life. By the way, didn't you say you were quirkless earlier? All Might asked, confused. Izuku then responded while wiping the tears from his eyes. I was. Turns out I'm a late bloomer. Go figure. All Might chuckled at the boy's response and then asked, Well then, how would you like to be my successor? The green-haired boy was caught off guard by the question. What? Thank you all for indulging yourselves with the story thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. It's sure to expand your weeb knowledge for all kinds of series, guaranteed. On top of that, we have a third channel called We the Celestials Naruto What Ifs. It's what we do on this channel already, but in the vast world and lore of Naruto. Go check it out if you're in the mood for some jutsu action. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I would like to extend out an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being we only accept members 16 years and up to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interests by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. Our Discord is an all-around fantastic place to be, whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have a great day.